Good evening, viewers, and welcome to another program on Calypso Showcase. Tonight, our special guest is Michael Baker from Tobago, and he is the Young King and the National Monarch of Tobago for 1992. Michael Baker, welcome to Calypso Showcase.
It's my privilege, Alvin.
Well, what has Michael Baker been doing since Carnival?
Well, besides the normal things, a few extra programs because of the titles. And of course, preparing again for the 1993 season.
You already started to look at the material?
Yes. I have a lot of nice subject matter lined up.
You're one of those people that do a little circuit at the hotels and so on. Where are you based these days?
Well, mainly the bigger hotels. And I've had a heavy season for the Carnival. It's one of the reasons why I'm not in Trinidad to satisfy the thousands of fans that I have down here, because I do this circuit throughout the year, and it's somewhat kind of difficult to leave at their peak season, the hotel peak season, which is also Carnival time, you see. And I feel kind of guilty having been with them on the down season, so to speak, and when the peak prime time comes along, I have to run away. So it has made me kind of guilty over the years. But then recently there was a program on television where they had the teens answering pop questions with Hennessy and things like that. And I remember the question was asked to a teenager, who's the Tobago lifeguard Calypsonian? And the student didn't know. And that made me realize, Baker, something wrong. Got to get back out there and mark it, because the older folks are moving on and the teenagers don't know who you are.
Well, I'm going to guarantee you something tonight, Michael. After Showcase tonight, there's no youth in Trinidad who will not be able to answer that question.
I think I have to endorse that.
Well, what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, if you just fasten your seatbelts, we're going to take a short trip over to Tobago and take in this video clip on Michael Baker. Michael Baker, is that your real name?
Original, by birth, on the birth certificate. So it can't be more real than that.
No, you can't be more real. Okay, Michael, it's a privilege and a pleasure to be talking to you about your life, your work, your career. And it's also significant that we're talking to you at a location which means a lot to you. This lovely beach, Storby, where you do your lifeguard work and so on. Perhaps you can start by telling us how you got into the lifeguard business.
Well, in '69, as early back as then, they had just launched the first beach facility in Tobago, and it's as a pioneering thing, an original thing. They decided to staff the project with all the necessary amenities that goes with it, and along with that was having a lifeguard on the project.
What our viewers always like to know is, when did it all begin for the particular Calypso? When did it begin for you?
Well, since a little child, I always used to make a hell of a lot of noise musically, and in the bathroom, sometimes, you know, those days, no hot water shower and stuff like that. I always used to tell you, well, look, why don't you go outside and sing or something like that? But what it comes to mind clearly is one time at La Tropical with the famous Neville Miranda, who has been responsible for talent in Tobago in a big way. Many professional Tobagonians are indebted to him for bringing them into the arena through scouting media and any other related one, because La Tropical was it in those days. And I remember one time something went wrong with the MC, and I can't remember how he got to know about me, but he called me in, and from that time on, I've been there. I've done quite a number of scouting for talents alongside Holly B, because when we had the Tobago leg of it, I used to do the Tobago leg of it, and when he came over for the grand fling, then we tie in together. So from those areas in the nightclub scene, then we moved to the hotel scenes. Started to sing.
Were you actually singing other people's calypsos, or did you start your own compositions as yet?
No. Initially, I was singing other people's songs. I prefer to say songs. until 1977, I was doing a MC job at the tent, the Tobago CDC tent. And I listened to the material of that year. And I thought, I know what's happening here. This thing looks like something I could handle. And I put pen to paper that year, and I ran away with the Krong and the Tobago Road March, which is the most popular calypso played by the steel bands. This goes
what was the name of the calypso?
I did the bass then.
Can you give us a little taste of the bass?
Boom dam dim dum dum dim dum dim dum dim dim dum dum bim di dum dum dim 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 dum bum dim bum bum di dim bum dam dim dum dum dim dum dim dum 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 bim di dim 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 dum dim dum dim dum.
Yes, I remember that quite clearly.
Yeah.
So that was, let's put it, 1977 was the year of, let's say, the beginning of your calypso career from a point of view of your composition and your singing. You won certain things. Where did you go from there?
Well, it's upward climb to date, you see. It started my calypso career. As a calypsonian, that's when it started. No messing about. As a recording artist, it followed the next year, where a chap in Trinidad liked what I had, recorded me. That went on for a couple of years. You know, people were recording me for percentage.
Wake up this morning, into Tuesday gone. He doesn't say good morning, how long this will go on. It is plain to see, he doesn't care about me. Well, the speed where the fella pass, he headed for greener grass. Who take where she man? 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 I can't understand. Who take where she man? 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 I can't understand. Who take where she man? He come home in the evening, gone straight to the kitchen. He no care about me mood, all he wants is food. What he thinking of? He doesn't know that I want his love. I know that he think I dread, and he got to lay down in bed. Who take where she man? 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 I can't understand. Who take where she man? 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 Can't understand. Who take where she man?
Well, let's talk first about the early 80s, 78, 79, going into 80s, and your years with the CDC tent moving over to Sparrows tent. Tell us some of the material that you delivered in those times.
Well, I remember doing Rayman, Ticket in the morning, Ticket in the evening. Oh boy, so many of them. Of course, very close to the closing period, the ever-popular Come Discover Both of Us.
Tobago, as you know it, stands out most in the Caribbean. And if you don't want to believe it, well, friends, let me make you understand. At Jamaica, Grenada, Barbados, St. Vincent, just to name a few. When visitors pass through Trinidad, this is what they'll tell you. They tell you, come discover one of us, come discover both of us, and why not come and discover all of us? For together we aspire, and together we achieve. The way we live is hard for them to believe.
The tourist board had something that year, like Come Discover One of Us, or Both of Us, or something like that. Was a theme they were pushing, and that idea hit me. And being a lifesaver and the lifeguards, the Division of Tourism, or the tourist board as it then were, are responsible for the lifeguards. I've been part and parcel of all that. I thought, look, I'll put pen to paper. And that's how that came about. You know, there was this Trinidad and Tobago togetherness that they've always tried to keep molded together. It's a beautiful thing. I'm patriotic I don't think anything can get out of me, change me, you know.
In fact, over the years, you've sung a number of patriotic songs. In fact, I think you've sung songs in tribute of Tobago itself, Trinidad and Tobago, your love for the country and so on. Can you recall some of these particular tunes where you pay tribute to, let's say, Tobago in particular as an individual country?
Yeah, there's one, come go Tobago, come go Trinidad and Tobago. Come Tobago, Tobago, come Tobago, Tobago, come Tobago, where all dwell in peace and love. Come enjoy this beautiful gift to man from the Creator up above. Right, and then there's another one talk about this Canadian that came down for Carnival, and when I heard about Carnival, just went wild. Then I did, not so far back again, was Maracas. I did that one in video. A Choo-Choo Millionaire. That's a beautiful one. Yeah.
Where else in the world you won't die of cold? The sunshine that's here is worth more than gold. Anytime you need to go for a swim, the ocean is like a pool for you to swim in. Fresh fish and meat, plenty to eat, man in abundance, enhancing romance. And as the forest grows, you don't need too much clothes, because you have the strong physique and beautiful as a rose. Ask a tourist any day, and you will hear him say, a native here is a true millionaire. A tourist never one day say that where he comes from is better than here. No way, no way. A native here is a true millionaire. Mr. West Indian, open your eyes and you will see why. A native here is a true millionaire. A native here is a true millionaire.
Tell us about the years you spent in Patriotic and what sort of experiences you had during those years.
Well, it has always been difficult for me as a Tobagonian having to go to Trinidad. Most of the rewards that I got just went in traveling expenditures for upkeep, for staying in Trinidad and all this kind of thing. It's one of the reasons I dropped out when I did, you know. What it has done for me, it has made me popular. It has caused me to become a little more clever in the art form, because I like to watch the better guys. And in those shining times of mine there, Kitchener, Shadow, Rose, Sparrow, and the list continues down the line. They were brilliant stars. The music then had beautiful melody. I'm a little dissatisfied with today's material. If you don't have a bass man to play with you and things like that, you can't sing a melody. Where have all those lovely melodies gone?
On that point, your presentation has always been one of the, let's say, outstanding features of your career. One thinks of the times that you have sung and you've had limbo dancers with you and things like that. Tell us about your thoughts about presentation and how you approach it as a Calypsonian.
It's ambition, I guess, you know. I never seen myself being at one level. I always see myself climbing a ladder. And whether I'm at the first tread or the second or third, I'm wanting to reach to the top. And if you look around you, it's dangerous to remain stagnant, right? And you will always be you, but you can be enhanced with presentation.
Time to join the hand in hand, our connection in Trinidad. Everybody from Tobago, for the saints and run and draw. Jumping up inside, with Crusoe's eye, man, I just can't wait. This band will be great, whether big or small, no stopping them at all. Yeah, 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 I just can't stay. And with Crusoe's eye, I wanna think so late. I said, it turns me up, I wanna think so late. With Crusoe's
calypso that you sung, which I think is one of your, let's say, popular calypsos, the calypso about the dumb boy. Tell us about that, the idea, and the finished product.
There's a slightly retarded chap that comes right here at this present location where we are today at Tobago. And he hardly talks. He always making this unusual tone sound. And he goes his merry way, you know. The guys sometimes make a little fun, not harmful fun of him, of course, but they make a little fun of him and all this kind of thing. And he would come down to the beach and he would have a bath. His bath is getting a little cup and he'll sit at the beachfront in the sand, throw the sand all over his skin. And that's his bath. He'll play in the sand most of the time. May venture to the very end of the water, but he's not going to go in too far, that's guaranteed. And I thought about it, you know, this dumb man, here he is, wanting to say something, but not able to talk, and want to express himself. So I thought I'd use that in the medium of calypso. And toyed with the idea, and I came up with the song.
A little taste?
Boom, dum, gung gang gang, a gigi go gang, gung gang gang, a gung gang, gung gang gang. Oh yeah, if you hear the dumb man, a gung gang, gung gang gang, a gigi go gang, gung gang gang. Everybody prancing, but they just can't understand.
Michael, as a Calypsonian interfacing with so many tourists on the beach and at the nightclubs where you work most of the times, what are your thoughts on tourism and what's happening in Tobago and Trinidad in that area?
Well, as you know, as the song said a while ago, a native here is a true millionaire. And the reason for that is most people sometimes wonder, what is Baker talking about? A native here is a true millionaire, and we're poor. Yes, we are poor in terms of monetary gain, but a millionaire is a person who has a lot of assets, basically. Not so much the liquid cash, you know. The guy who owns this and owns that and all. And we are natives of Trinidad and Tobago, and this is ours. We're not Americans, although we have roots in Africa, we're not Africans. You're born in Trinidad and Tobago, you are Trinidadian and Tobagonian. You can't escape that. Anywhere else in the world you go, they're going to throw you out, but they will always accept you here. This is yours. And it's time we start to labor on that aspect of it and keep the thing going good. Now, that's one part. Very unspoilt, because we are the last to reach in the chain of islands coming down almost, you see. You meet all the others before you get to us. So it's unspoilt.
After all the world was made, there remained a bit of clay, and God said, with this I'll make myself a place to holiday. He sat down and took his time and soon molded this lovely land, with all the hills and valleys, rivers and brooks, and the beaches of silvery sand. It was done, he smiled and then blessed it and looked on the open sea and said, there I shall place it in the tropical Caribbean. Come Tobago, Tobago, come Tobago, Tobago, come Tobago, we're all dwell in peace and love. Come enjoy
I remember one tourist, when he was leaving, he said, you know, something that has never left me. Lord, if I don't make it to heaven, send me back to Tobago.
That's a beautiful expression.
Yes, you know. And in that context, they see Tobago as a paradise, the closest to heaven they'll get for a long time.
Now, when your career came to an end from the Trinidad point of view, what prompted you to, let's say, give up that hustle of going down to Trinidad, taking part and so on, and come back to Tobago?
I really miss that. I really miss that. It's one of the hardest things that I had to do and to talk about. I really miss that shall I say, that frontline glow.
But what about some of the outstanding songs you have sung in the last 5 years, say?
Well, in the last 5 years, what has happened to me is that I have moved from the frontline Calypsonian thing, which basically you hear them in the tent. And I had discovered an unusual area that I call my feeding ground, and that is entertaining in the hotels. No?
What sort of repertoire do you offer the tourists in the hotels?
Most importantly, what they want to hear.
Let's talk about this year's material, and I think that because this year you're sort of in the limelight again, and that's good to see. Let's talk about your two major tunes for this year. First of all, changing the name from Baker to Backer. Tell us a little bit about this song, where you got the idea, etc.
Well, the idea came early last year. Just across the road there, they have given a lovely building there to the police to monitor the western area. And they brought down the local prisoners to do the work. Quite nice, I find. That should happen more in Trinidad and Tobago. And I was watching the mannerisms, how they behave, what they do. And I realized, I said to myself, oh, wait, these guys, they don't have to pay rent. They get meals and other related areas that I have to kill myself to get. And on the other side, if I may put it that way, in terms of misbehave, I don't get transport to come down to work. I don't go look for it, right? If I don't work, I don't eat. I doubt if I mean, somebody may be kind to me, but they wouldn't be kind to me all the time to sustain me with meals. And I know individuals who come out, and as soon as they come out, they do something, they go back in again because they feel at home in there, you know? And though this may not be the norm, it happens. So it came to me one day when I was reading the newspaper. It was a kind of a fanatic hobby of mine, keeping in touch. And the Muslim situation, I saw the situation of what I remembered, what happened, and what is going on now. How they're taking so long to give these guys their justice, whether guilty or not. They're taking a long time to give these guys their due. And from time to time, I keep hearing large numbers of monies to support them, to move them to one place. They're going to build this place for them. They're going to do this. And I'm out here working hell hard, and I feel how, you know? So I thought, this is a nice twist to put in a Calypso.
All you tell me if I lie. Justice delayed is not justice denied. Tony and them done have the plan already to set all them Muslims free. Trinbagonians crying out for justice. But take it from me, they would never get their wish. Millions of taxpayers' money spent already, and they still talking nonsense about amnesty. So you see what I mean. I'm going and join with the Muslims, getting 3 square meals a day, no rent to pay. This light is paying at all, straight to hospital. And when I feel sexy, bring me 4 wives to me, plus police and army escort is free. So you see what I mean. I'm going and join with the Muslims. I'm no longer Baker, my name is now Backer. So take what I mean. I'm going and join with the Muslims.
fact, the Calypso is really dealing with the situation of prisoners having to wait a long time to get the justice that's due to them. And you have just used the Muslimeen situation, which is more topical, to emphasize that.
Oh, definitely, definitely. It's nothing, no malice. It's no malice. It's the privilege of the Calypsonian, the license of the Calypsonian to comment on a situation and report. The population look to a Calypsonian when the time comes to educate them of what happened for the last year.
Right.
He's like an auditor. He has to tell people in no uncertain terms his viewing, the way he saw, the way he observed certain situations, and how he does it. That is his business. They will decide, and don't misjudge the public. An organization doesn't have to come up and criticize a Calypsonian. The public will deal with them.
Since a little child, me and no big man does still get licks. Curfew have big man reaching home before 6. Man treating the woman nice because the saying is right. Who make war in the day will get no peace at night. Crow went by Susie making the usual call. Curfew come and catch him, he can't go home at all. The midget playing man find out he is a mouse. He can't do his homework in the house, so you see what I mean. I'm going to join with the Muslim, getting 3 square meals a day, no rent to pay, this light is paying at all, straight to hospital, no mortgage to pay. Man, I could relax, I don't give a damn about income tax, so you see what I mean. I'm going to join with the Muslim. I'm no longer baker, my name is now Packer, and take what I mean. I'm going to join with the Muslim.
Now, your other song that's doing well this year is a fantastic nation-building song, and you've sung a lot of patriotic songs, but this one seems a little bit more special. Tell us about that one.
Forever we are plagued with the problem of Trinidad versus Tobago. My father is Trinidadian, my wife is Trinidadian. I am Tobagonian, my children are. And it is the water between Trinidad and Tobago that is the problem. They did build a bridge, I figure this nonsense will stop. The water is the water between the two islands causing problem. That's the only thing I can see.
Trinidad and Tobago go hand in hand. Most southern isles in the Caribbean. Whenever you need a vacation, you can come. 2 beautiful islands in the sun. A mixture of many different cultures and predominate in this land of ours. And if we have a quarrel, it never lasts for long. Cause if you're wrong, the whole nation does say you're wrong. Why? We have a good thing going. Come let us join now together and sing. It's a much better way if you try to understand why and keep reaching for the sky. And then I know one day all of our dark clouds will go away. Let us try to remember the place that we all came from as the nation marches on. Sing one. Hey, da, 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 da. and he's living alone. Cause as soon as he gets home, look from twice and away he gone. Only fitting work with song. And anytime a woman pass, fitting himself fast. They call him Raymond. Raymond, do us a confusion. Stop troubling them young woman and get down to the things of the land. Raymond, Raymond, I want you to understand. Stop troubling them young woman and get down to the things of the land. Yeah! The story from a time she come down, for Trinidad Carnival. That she been jumping up all day, but she don't seem to get the rhythm at all. She hold on to my waist and I start to whine. A good thing you come by just in time. All the time she eyes on my waist and says, listen to the bass. I start to go boom, down, dim, zoom down, dim, down, dim, down, zoom down, dim, zoom down, dim, down, dim, down, dim, down, dim, zoom down, dim, down, dim, down, zoom down, dim, dim, down, dim, down. Yeah! Hey, like that. Your mother and your father, they are your parents. Worse or for better, your mother gave you the chance. Oh yes, how she labored to bring you into this world. Although it made no difference, wherever boy or girl. So many months she carried you, although you've been pretty big. Having no more chores to do, have you ever heard her curse your name? Children, a message for you. Honor your mother for as long as you may live. And every day you breathe the breath of life, give her whatever there is to give. Why? Mother's Day is not one day. Every day should be Mother's Day. Whether you work or play, remember what they can say. Children, every day should be Mother's Day.
The motor vehicle and road traffic plan, the government having this plan is a one-sided regulation. Tell me why drivers getting ticket and the roads getting away with it. Drivers and vehicle will get a fine if they only step out of line, but the roads deteriorating all the time. Tell me why drivers getting ticket and the roads getting away with it. We have to obey the highway code, but look at the condition of the road.